Jamie Rogers joins us in the studio. Good morning,
morning,
Jane. Are you
guys.
okay, by the way? Because you brought Hudson in this morning.
I know, and he's out there crying.
He misses his mum already.
Well, this is what happens. My mum's gone to play bridge in a national tournament.
How dare she?
So I know, and I thought you really can't get angry at that.
National
and she was
tournament.
Coming second yesterday. So
Can we get on? Can we?
no.
Do we have a market at tap.com.au?
she
She's
confident
out at
this
the
morning?
racetrack. She's at Canterbury Racetrack.
Oh,
she
there you
was.
go.
Oh, very
So I said
confident.
to her, I expect nothing less than a win. So
I've never had a go at the bridge.
she loves it.
Yeah.
Just wait till everyone's retired.
Right.
It seems
How many
to be
times a week
something
does she play?
Every day.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
It's unbelievable.
Yep. And hours on end. So
We
anyway.
were lucky enough to meet your mother in Brisbane this year.
Yes, yeah, you
Brecky
were.
Creek.
Yeah, the Brecky Creek
Creek.
Hotel.
Strangely
We
enough.
apologise.
It was early.
So that's why Hudson is in here.
Yeah.
Well, boys, let's get into the burning questions. And you did mention it earlier about an hour ago about this. New South Wales have scored the grand final, first of all, for the next 27 years, which when I was
Wow.
thinking about it, I'll be so old by the time
let's
that's
not
done.
think, yeah.
But for the next 2 years, it will be at the SCG. And I found this an interesting decision considering Melbourne applied for it, Perth and Brisbane. What are your thoughts, boys? Was this a good opportunity to maybe grow the game in a state like Perth for the grand final, or you're happy to have it at the SCG?
Look, at the time, I thought I'd be happy to shift it to another venue, whether it was Brisbane, Perth or Melbourne. Not so much for the fact to grow the game, just that I'm not a fan of watching rugby league from the SCG, and I thought it'd be a great opportunity for other people to showcase our game and get an opportunity to watch it from a decent venue. Now, having said that, I understand the league's problem because the government have committed $2 billion to build the stadiums, and they wanted content, and they promised that they would give them games. Yes, they've had to go back in and find more money because all of a sudden the delay with the building of Allianz doesn't allow them to have the grand final there in those particular years. But it's going to get done. I'm okay with the decision, and the league have got money out of it.
Yeah, exactly right. I'm not one of those believers that it's the God-given right of Sydney to actually have the grand final. In saying all of that, you don't get 3 brand new stadiums, or virtually 3 brand new stadiums, and $2 billion, Jamie, without some strings attached. So I'm all fine with it. It's not a great viewing ground, but it'll still be a great event, and we'll all enjoy it.
That we will. Now, boys, this has been an interesting story, I suppose you would say, during the week where the Titans, they've been dealt that blow with TFH pulling that 6-figure sponsorship from the side, and this came off the back of Ryan James' grand final where they labelled it embarrassing and offensive, and it just seems that this is rather harsh. I mean, Ryan James was stood up there with it off the top of his head, and everyone is victim of having a mind blank.
This is beyond disgraceful, really. This is the worst poor excuse I've ever seen for a sponsor breaking a contract with a rugby league club, if it's played out the way we're led to believe. Ryan James did nothing wrong. It was we've all had it, and we mentioned this yesterday on the program 1,000 times. Had a bit of mind block and been not able to go on with what we thought we were going to be saying. I don't think anybody found it embarrassing. It certainly couldn't hurt your brand whatsoever, Ryan James. In particular, when you think the flip side of all the great work he does away from the public eye regarding the Indigenous community as well, and the Gold Coast Titans. I'd be ashamed of myself if I was TFH Hire Services. I'd be ashamed. I'd be ashamed. Just stand up and go, you know what, we want to break our contract. We're breaking
we don't
it.
want to be with the Titans
Please.
anymore. Don't blame poor Ryan James.
It's disrespectful, and Ryan, you wouldn't meet a better person. He's a very respectful young man. He's a great role model on and off the field, and for him to suffer through this, I think, is poor from the sponsor. I'm like TK. If you want to pull your sponsorship, don't go making excuses about why you're pulling it. Just say that you're unhappy with what they've delivered. You're not happy with the culture, or you're not happy with their performance on the field. But to use that as part of the reason you're getting rid of someone is not right.
Well, boys, we'll move on to Michael Cheika saying it was weird that England brought Ricky Stewart into their camp ahead of this weekend's quarter final. Should Ricky have gone behind enemy lines, or is just Michael Cheika jealous he didn't think to get Ricky in himself?
Well, Ricky was already going, and that was the particular moment in time that he could fit into his schedule.
Yeah.
Because he assumed that straight after the grand final, he was going to a grand final, he'd go straight after that grand final, hoping that England would still be there in the quarterfinals. Now, that's an opportunity for Ricky to go and improve himself as a coach, to work with Eddie Jones. Other coaches have done it. I see nothing wrong with it.
What about, we'll all bring this up, Jamie, because there's no doubt this will probably be the end of Michael Cheika with the Wallabies.
Yep.
Right? And after that, if he wants another international job, he's not getting it with the Wallabies. So he'll be coaching another nation. I think you just get the best people involved. I think it's a great move for Eddie Jones, a smart move for Eddie Jones to get, pick the brain of Ricky Stewart.
Yeah, well, especially considering he's just come out off the back of the NRL Grand Final. Just quickly before we head to the news, boys, James McDonald has said he couldn't pick a tougher year to debut in the Tab Everest. It is one of the strongest fields imagining, and considering you can make a case for all 12 runners, we'll just quickly get who you boys think is going to take it out on Saturday.
I'm on Centre and Lane. I've been on him for a while.
Tabs Force.
Arcadia Queen, which is James's mount, has been the one that's firmed
Very
up.
well backed.
So it's into $4.60 now at tab.com.au. I'm on Pirata, and it's official. I can control the weather because I would have loved some rain, but I've been on it for a long time, okay?
Yeah.
I would love some rain and some give in the track for Pirata, who's fine on top of the ground, but is just superior
and
with
Tommy
the give
Berry
in the
was
track.
confident at that big sports breakfast lunch we had a few weeks ago.
He was.
He
was. We didn't think we'd go 3 weeks without rain, though.
Although it poured last night.
Well, we've had, but not enough.
Not enough.
Not enough. We're sticking solid, Jamie.
Thanks, guys. Well, it's going to be a great day out there on Saturday.
It certainly will. Looking forward to it.
Hudson's calling.
Well, he is. He's sitting in there watching with Rob.
Yeah, well, I'd be crying too if I was with Rob. yeah.
He's playing with it. Oh, no, he's all right now. He's good.
Yeah, he's laughing.
Thanks, Jamie.